What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. These are my Draftkings MMA picks for UFC Vegas 93. We have Tatsuro Taira going against Alex Perez. Going to be breaking down this card from a Draftkings perspective here. We have 13 fights to work with as of now. We'll have to wait for the weigh-ins. But yeah, looking forward to this card. I think it's a great card in terms of entertainment value. I think we're going to get some violence here, some high Draftkings scores. So yeah, looking forward to breaking it all down. Before we get into it, if you guys could, like the video, subscribe to the channel, check out my website, dfsbythenumbers.com. That's where you'll find all my other content, the targets, projections, ownership projections, rankings, prize picks article, prize picks entry, lineup optimizer, and a ton more on dfsbythenumbers.com. Check it out, and DraftKings article as well if I did not mention that. And then also check out prize picks. Use promo code DFSBTN and get a 100% deposit match up to $100. And yeah, I say we get right into it, guys. We're going to start with the fight. Doesn't go to decision lines. First one up top, Alaskarov Chikali minus 1,200. Fight doesn't go to decision. Yeah, this fight is a fight that I don't think should be sanctioned. I'm not convinced this fight is even going to happen. Like, I have a feeling that Chikali might not show up. He has one win in the last 6 years. I'm not sure what he's doing here. Alaskarov's 9,700, but I think that's extremely warranted. So it's Alaskarov or pass for me in this fight. Nate Maness, Jimmy Flick. A lot of favorites on this fight. This is a very chalky card. Nate Maness is one of them. He's 9,400. Jimmy Flick is 6,800. I like Nate Maness. I like him a lot. I like him to finish. I like him to score big. Jimmy Flick, he's a dart throw. He's a dart throw. Like, his win condition is a first round triangle off his back. His win condition is a first round submission one way or another. So yes, I'm going to be very heavy on Maness, but Jimmy Flick, as far as a punt play, dart throw, sprinkle, you have to have a little bit because that is his win condition. But yeah, should be Maness all day. Next, we have Jekasaragi, Weston Wilson, minus 600 for the fight. Doesn't go to decision. And yeah, kind of like the Maness fight, although I'm less confident in Jekasaragi here. I'm going to be very heavy on him. 9,300. It's hard to trust Jekasaragi, but he's also going against Weston Wilson, who just has, glass for a chin. I think the most likely scenario is a Jekasaragi first-round knockout, and at 9,300, I think he pays off that price tag. Weston Wilson, like a Jimmy Flick, is a dart throw this week. He's 6,900. His win condition is, like Jimmy Flick, a first-round sub. He's first-round sub or bust. Weston Wilson hasn't been to the second round, I think, in like 14 fights. So, yeah, got to play a lot of this fight, mostly Saragi, but Weston Wilson as a dart throw has to be sprinkled because that's his win condition. And I think if this fight does hit the mat, Weston Wilson is very live for a sub. It's just his head probably is detached from his body before the fight does hit the ground. Main event, we have Tatsuro Taira going against Alex Perez, minus 325 for the fight. Doesn't go to decision. For me, I'm more so on the Tatsuro Taira side here, 8,600. I like the grappling upside, the wrestling upside for Taira. But Alex Perez, he's fought the much better competition. He's on a little bit of a roll as of late, got a nice knockout win in his last fight. And even though Makayev lost, I think his stock did rise. And I thought he arguably won that fight. So yeah, Alex Perez being a lot more active at this stage in his career. I think both guys have paths to score very well. Tatsuro Taira with the grappling, Perez with the power. Potential knockout, Tatsuro Taira, this will be the best fighter he's fought by a mile. So yeah, great main event to target, but I'm personally on the Taira side. Getting into the core plays here, Nate Maness, 9,400. This is my first time picking Nate Maness to win a fight. I've picked against him in every single fight, but this is the time where I kind of hop on because I don't think he's losing to Jimmy Flick. I think it's a terrible matchup for Jimmy Flick, and Jimmy Flick's one of these guys who's just an incredible hammer and just a terrible nail. When the going gets tough, Jimmy Flick looks for the way out. He looks for the door, and I think Nate Maness is going to happily show him the door here. I like Nate Maness to win this fight by first or second round knockout, and at 9,400, I do think he pays off that price tag. A knockdown or two is certainly in play, and a first or second round knockout is certainly in play for Nate Maness. Tatsuro Taira, 8,600. He's the younger guy here by 8 years. I like the striking of Taira. I think he has sneaky power as well. I like the wrestling, but what I really like is the grappling. Tatsuro Taira is extremely slick on the ground. Lots of submissions on his record. Has finished about half his fights by sub. Alex Perez has been subbed 5 times. So although Alex Perez does have good takedown defense, I think at some point in this fight, over the course of 5 rounds, Taira will get this fight down to the mat. and I think a Taira sub is very live. 8,600, I don't mind Taira. Josh Quinlan, 8,300. I think this is a fighter that's going to go very under-owned this week. I think a lot of people are going to be on Fugit this week, so a little bit of a sneaky play here in the core play section of things. But yeah, Josh Quinlan, 8,300. I think a lot of people are very low on him after his last 2 losses against Danny Barlow and against Trey Waters, but this matchup couldn't be any more different. Danny Barlow, incredible striker with a ton of power. Trey Waters is extremely massive with good striking, very long, rangy guy. And Adam Fugit's one of these guys he's a dog. He's a dog. He's going to be there, but he's very hittable. He's been dropped a lot. He's been hurt a lot. He's been knocked out a lot. And I think Quinlan's live to potentially get back on track here. Quinlan needs a win. I think it might be the last fight on his contract. And I think Quinlan's live for a knockout here. 8,300. I like it. I think this is a fight that should be targeted. I think it's going to be a fast-paced fight. Somebody probably ends up getting finished as well. But I'm personally on the Quinlan side of things, and I think he's going to come in at decent ownership as well. And then Jekka Sergi, 9,300. See, I'm fading Maness, and then I'm also fading poor Weston Wilson. I think Jekka goes out there and takes his head off within the first round. Could get multiple knockdowns, honestly. Like, everything that lands against Weston Wilson, it's a terrible reaction to strikes. I don't think he has... there's good durability, there's bad durability, and there's no durability. And I think Weston Wilson falls under the category of just no durability. And Jekka, although I don't think he's, that great, what he does do is he throws with bad intentions. And I think he's going to just really hurt Wilson here. So Jekka Sergi, expensive, but I think he pays it off with the first round finish. Moving on to the GBP plays here. Yeah, lots of high-priced fighters because... a lot of these guys are in great spots. A lot of these guys are going to get finishes. A lot of these guys are going to score very well. And Almabayev is another one of those guys. Now 9,500. He's going against Jose Johnson, who's cutting down to flyweight for the first time in his career. Jose Johnson's 6 feet tall, and Jose Johnson has 0 takedown defense. I was actually surprised to see the takedown defense of Johnson at 36% because I was expecting it to be closer to 0% because anytime somebody tries to take down Jose Johnson, he gets taken down. And now he's going against Almabayev, who's a very good wrestler, a very good grappler. I think Almabayev racks up takedown after takedown, gets a lot of control time, and I think he eventually submits Johnson here, and I think he does score very well. So 9,500, I don't mind some Almabayev. Tagir Ulanbekov at 8,900. Same thing here as Almabayev, just a lot cheaper here, I'd say. 8,900 for Tagir Ulanbekov, wrestling upside, control time upside, and I think he's very live for a sub. Joshua Van, his only loss as a pro came by submission, and in that fight, he was taken down in the first round multiple times. He was put into a bunch of bad spots. Second round comes around, same thing, taken down a bunch of times, put into a bunch of spots on the mat, and then submitted late second round there. So I think Tagir can do something similar. Take down Joshua Van, get into dominant positions. He has those guillotines. He has those long arms. He has the rear naked choke. I think Tagir is very live for a sub. And I also think Joshua Van is going to be extremely popular this week. Just another reason I do like Tagir at 8,900. Garrett Armfield, 8,700. I think this is a fight that is, going to need to be targeted this week. I love targeting these striker versus grappler matchups where when one of these guys win, the win condition is going to score very well. I see it being Garrett Armfield by knockout. I think that is his win condition, his path to victory. Or it's going to be Brady Heastand able to implement his will, which is going to be the takedowns, control time, the grappling, and a potential late sub as well. So, yeah, Garrett Armfield, 8,700. If he's winning this fight, I think he's knocking out Brady Heastand, which is very much on the table. Heastand's been dropped in all 3 of his UFC fights thus far. He's been knocked out on the regional scene as well. So, yeah, I think Garrett Armfield's live for a knockout. 8,700, I don't mind it. And then Ikram Alaskarov, 9,700. He's extremely expensive, but he could be 10,000, and I wouldn't bat an eye. Like, he's going against Tricoli, who just shouldn't be here. If you can fit him in. He's safe as can be in cash. I'm gonna try my hardest to get him in there. It is probably going to be hard. I haven't tried yet, but it is probably going to be hard to get him in there. But we'll see. Maybe some of these underdogs stick out, and we can fit him in. If you can fit him in, fit him in. He's going to score very well. He's going to get a first-round finish, and I think he's the safest spot on the board. It's expensive. It's tough when DraftKings does this, and they do the 9,700 thing because they've only done it a handful of times. So, but yeah, Alaskarov should smash here. Moving on to the live dogs, a couple of them here. Shah Leonard and Beke, 7,700. yeah, I think it's another striker versus grappler matchup where, Nurdenbeke can strike a little bit for sure. It's just Costa is going to be the much better striker here. Nurdenbeke, he can wrestle. He can get takedowns. Costa can be wrestled and get taken down. So, yeah, there's a path for Shalion Nurdenbeke. The submission defense concerns me. The cardio concerns me. But if he's able to hold up over 15 and is able to wrestle his way to a decision at this price tag, he should score well. Alex Perez, 7,600. Step up in competition for Tatsuro Taira, and this is a big test for Taira. Alex Perez has been here before. He's been in a 5-round main event. He's fought for a title before. He's been a lot more active as well lately, which is good. Alex Perez has power. Alex Perez has elite takedown defense. There's some reasons to like Perez this week at 7,600. I'm personally on the other side, but 25 minutes to work with. A huge test for Taira. We're gonna get some questions answered here. I don't mind some shots at Perez in this 5-round fight. Brady Heastan, 7,500. Striker versus grappler matchup. Brady Heastan is going to have to dive at legs early and often, or his head is getting taken off here. And it's definitely possible. Armfield has 3 losses, and all 3 of those losses are due to him getting taken down, controlled, and he's been subbed in 2 of those 3 losses. So a path to victory for Brady Heastan is there. If he's able to get takedowns and implement his will, I think he's live to put up a massive score, honestly. If he's not able to get takedowns, I think he's getting brutally knocked out. So a fight that is going to need to be targeted. Striker versus grappler matchup. Brady Heastan at 7,500. He has a path, and his path scores well. And then finally, Lucas Almeida, 7,400, I think is in play. He's a guy that is taking a step down in competition. I think a lot of people are low on Almeida, including me, honestly. But his last 2 losses come against Pat Sabatini and comes against Andre Fili. And now he's taken on Timmy Kwamba, who I'm just not too excited about, to be honest. I mean, Kwamba fights close in a lot of his fights. I think he's decent. He's probably the more technical striker, can wrestle a little bit, but you don't want to ever ignore one of these guys with a 100% finish rate, and Almeida has exactly that. Almeida has 14 wins, and all 14 of them come by knockout or submission. He's a black belt in BJJ. He has power. He throws with bad intentions, and I think this line should be a lot closer. I think these salaries should be a lot closer. So yeah, I don't mind some Almeida at 7,400. Next, we have the Prize Picks Play of the Week, and it is going to be Gabriela Fernandez, more than 52.5 significant strikes, going against Carly Judice, who absorbed 180 against Ernesta Carrascate on the Contender Series. The only worry is Fernandez knocking her out, which I think could be in play, but Judice is tough, and if this fight does get extended, I think Fernandez is going to be landing everything she throws. So yeah, it just seemed a little bit low to me in this fight. So yeah, give me the more on significant strikes for Fernandez. If you guys want to check it out, use promo code DFSBTN and get a 100% deposit match up to $100. Punt plays, Weston Wilson and Jose Johnson. And even Jimmy Flick could be thrown in here as well. Yeah, so we'll start with Jose Johnson, 6,700. He's a 6-foot flyweight. I do want to see him on the scales. On the feet, he has a ton of power. Almabayev is going to be able to get him down. But if for some reason Almabayev decides to not wrestle, which we've seen stupid game plans before, I think Johnson's live for a knockout. Johnson also does throw up submissions off of his back. He has those very long limbs. So there are, some avenues for Johnson here potentially, and those avenues would be like a submission off his back or a knockout. I personally don't think it happens, but we'll see. He's going to be a lot bigger than Almabayev. He's going to have like an 8-inch height advantage, which is crazy. But yeah, don't mind Jose Johnson as a punt play. Weston Wilson, punt play. If he's winning by one method and one method only, and that is a first-round submission. I don't really see any other path for him. And like I said, he can throw Jimmy Flick in there as well if you want. Same thing. If Jimmy Flick's winning, it's first-round submission. So, yeah, all 3 of these guys really, if they're winning, they have a ton of upside. It's just, will they win? Probably not, but I think they're worth some punt throws, some dart throws. And then finally, we got the fade. It's at Josephine Knudsen, 9,100. No chance I'm playing her. I actually think she can score decent. It's just on this card, there's no chance I'm playing her. Ikram Alaskarov is going to get a first-round finish. Asu Almabayev has a ton of grappling upside and finish upside. Nate Maness is probably going to get a first or second-round finish. Jekka Sergey is going to get a first or second-round finish. Sigir Ulanbekov can wrestle. Armfield can get a knockout, whereas Knudsen has a 14% finish rate. So, yeah, although I think she can potentially win and score okay, it's just there's so many better options that I can't even get there. And if you want to be really different, then sure, I can't get there personally. So I'm going to be fading Josephine Knudsen. I think she wins. I think she scores okay, but I'm not sure if okay is going to do it on this slate. So yeah, guys, there you have it. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys could like, subscribe, check out dfsbythenumbers.com. The fighter stats are already up. The targets are up. The projections are up. The prize picks plays are up. Going to be working on the prize picks article, the DFS article. Lineup optimizers should be ready to go shortly as well. And then ownership projections should be out shortly as well. So be on the lookout for all of that. Best of luck, guys, for UFC Vegas 93. And we'll talk to you guys soon. See you later.